In 1919, the Chicago White Sox were poised for greatness. They had just clinched the American League pennant and were favorites to win the World Series against the Cincinnati Reds. However, beneath this surface of success lay a toxic environment within the clubhouse. The team was divided into two factions: the Clean Sox, led by team captain Eddie Collins, and the Black Sox, which included players like Chick Gandil and Eddie Cicotte. This division was not merely a matter of personal preference. It was fueled by deep-seated resentment towards the team's owner, Charles Comiskey. Comiskey was notorious for his miserly ways, often refusing to pay his players what they felt they deserved. This created an atmosphere of frustration and discontent that significantly impacted the players' dynamics and morale. The idea of throwing the World Series was first discussed informally among the players during a train ride, igniting a conspiracy that would change the course of baseball history. The players felt that their grievances were justified, and the thought of making money through a fix became increasingly appealing as tensions rose within the team. The combination of a divided locker room and a perceived betrayal by their owner laid the groundwork for one of the most infamous scandals in sports. Did you know that despite the scandal, shoeless Joe Jackson had one of the highest batting averages in the 1919 World Series? He batted .375, leading all players, and even hit the series' only home run. His involvement in the scandal remains debated, as he often claimed he played to win, which adds complexity to the narrative of his guilt. This contradiction highlights the murky waters of the scandal and the differing perceptions of the players' roles in the fix. Jackson's exceptional performance in the series has led many to argue that he was not as complicit as others, raising questions about the nature of his involvement. This complexity serves to illustrate the broader moral dilemmas faced by athletes when money and ethics collide. The story of Jackson and the scandal continues to spark debate among fans and historians alike, as they seek to understand the true nature of loyalty, betrayal, and the price of fame in the world of sports. The plan to fix the World Series was set into motion when Chick Gandil met with a known gambler, Joe "Sport" Sullivan, in September 1919. At a clandestine meeting in New York City, Gandil, along with other key players, including Eddie Cicotte and Lefty Williams, agreed to throw the series in exchange for a payoff of $100,000. This amount was staggering for the time and represented a life-changing sum for many of the players involved. The players believed that the financial rewards outweighed the risks, especially given the lax enforcement of gambling rules in baseball at the time. With the involvement of organized crime figures like Arnold Rothstein, the fix gained momentum. Rothstein was a notorious gambler with deep connections in the underworld, and his influence further legitimized the players' decision to go through with the conspiracy. As the players began to feel the pressure of their decision, the promise of easy money clouded their judgment, leading to a betrayal of their teammates and fans alike. The players rationalized their actions, thinking that the fix would be easy to execute and that they could still play well enough to avoid suspicion. However, as the series approached, the reality of their decision began to weigh heavily on them, creating a sense of dread mixed with anticipation. The 1919 World Series commenced on October 1, with the White Sox facing the Cincinnati Reds. The initial game saw Eddie Cicotte, one of the best pitchers in baseball, starting for the Sox. However, his performance was lackluster, which raised suspicions among baseball insiders. In the first game, Cicotte hit the Reds' leadoff hitter with a pitch, a signal to the gamblers that the fix was on. This act was not merely a mistake. It was a deliberate move to indicate to those in the know that the players were adhering to their agreement. The Sox lost Game 1 9-1, and soon after, the players involved in the fix began to receive their promised payouts, though the gamblers started to renege on their agreements. This led to a ripple effect of tension and anxiety among the players, who realized that they might not receive the full amount they had been promised. The pressure mounted as the series progressed, with fans and sports writers growing suspicious of the Sox's performance. Each game became a battleground not just for victory, but for the players' livelihoods as they grappled with the consequences of their actions. The unfolding drama of the series was not just about baseball. It was a complex interplay of greed, betrayal, and the moral dilemmas faced by the players involved. As the series progressed, the players attempted to double-cross their financiers after failing to receive the agreed payments. This moment of internal conflict marked a critical turning point in the scandal. The White Sox won Games 6 and 7 unexpectedly, creating a stir among gamblers who had anticipated a fixed outcome. The players were caught in a precarious situation. Having initially agreed to throw the series, they now faced threats from their backers. Game 8 was critical. Lefty Williams took the mound but struggled, leading to a loss that sealed the White Sox's fate. The culmination of these events resulted in the Reds winning the series, but the fallout was just beginning. Players like Scandal and Sikat found themselves in a moral quandary, torn between their initial agreement and the realization of the consequences of their actions. The tension escalated as the players debated whether to fulfill their end of the bargain or to fight back against the gamblers who had manipulated them. This struggle for control highlighted the chaotic nature of the scandal and underscored how quickly things could spiral out of the players' control. In December 1919, rumors began to circulate regarding the integrity of the World Series. Sports writer Hugh Fullerton's concerns led to increased scrutiny, prompting White Sox owner Comiskey to hire private investigators. Despite their efforts, no significant evidence was found until the following season when allegations of corruption in baseball intensified. By September 1920, a grand jury was convened to investigate these claims, focusing on the 1919 World Series. The grand jury's investigation was a pivotal moment in the scandal, as it brought to light the extent of the players' involvement and the web of deceit that had been woven. Eddie Sikat's confession to the grand jury marked a turning point, as he admitted to his involvement in the fix, leading to the suspension of several players. The investigation revealed not only the players' actions, but also the complicity of gamblers and the broader implications for the sport. This scrutiny would ultimately lay the groundwork for significant changes in baseball governance and ethics. The public's reaction to the unfolding investigation was one of shock and outrage, as fans grappled with the betrayal of their heroes and the tarnishing of America's pastime. The trial of the Black Sox players began in June 1921, drawing significant media attention. The courtroom was filled with reporters and spectators eager to witness the proceedings of what had become a national spectacle. Despite the confessions of Sikat and others, the prosecution faced challenges due to missing evidence and recantations. The jury deliberated for less than 3 hours before returning not guilty verdicts for all defendants, a surprising outcome that shocked the public. The complexities of the case were laid bare during the trial, including the role of gamblers and the players' varying degrees of involvement. The defense argued that the players had been coerced and that the confessions were obtained under duress. While the players were acquitted, the integrity of baseball remained in question, leading to further scrutiny of gambling within the sport. The trial not only highlighted the challenges of prosecuting corruption in sports, but also raised important questions about ethics, accountability, and the responsibilities of athletes in maintaining the integrity of their game. The public's disillusionment with the verdict further fueled debates about the future of baseball and its governance. Following their acquittal, new baseball commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis took decisive action. On August 3, 1921, he banned all 8 implicated players from professional baseball for life, regardless of the trial's outcome. This unprecedented decision was meant to restore integrity to the sport and deter future corruption. Landis's actions were met with mixed reactions. Some praised his commitment to clean baseball, while others lamented the loss of talented players. The players, including the well-known Shoeless Joe Jackson, were relegated to the sidelines, with their careers effectively over. The scandal had far-reaching effects, not only on the players involved, but also on the public's perception of baseball, leading to a demand for stricter regulations against gambling in the sport. This ban set a precedent that would influence how Major League Baseball dealt with issues of integrity and ethics in the years to come. The legacy of this decision continued to shape the landscape of baseball, as it became clear that the sport could not afford to tolerate any form of corruption. The aftermath of the scandal served as a stark reminder of the fragility of trust in sports and the importance of maintaining a clean and fair playing field. The Black Sox Scandal remains one of the most infamous episodes in sports history, often termed baseball's original sin. Its legacy includes a profound impact on how the game is governed, leading to the establishment of strict anti-gambling policies. The scandal prompted Major League Baseball to implement a series of reforms aimed at preventing similar incidents in the future. This included greater oversight of players and stricter penalties for those involved in gambling. The scandal also inspired numerous books, films, and discussions about ethics in sports, ensuring that the story of the Black Sox continues to captivate audiences. The case serves as a reminder of the potential for corruption in competitive sports and the importance of maintaining integrity, making it a critical point of reference for future generations. The Black Sox scandal has been the subject of countless analyses and retrospectives, and its lessons resonate even today as sports grapple with issues of ethics, integrity, and the influence of money. The narrative of the Black Sox stands as a cautionary tale, illustrating the consequences of greed and the necessity for vigilance in preserving the sanctity of the game.